Okay, here comes the long overdue my thoughts on the Call of Duty campaign as the music revs up, getting to so loud that I can't hear myself think. Now, we're gonna get out of that because just God, why are you so loud? Why are you so loud? I think for you guys it's a bit quieter, so yeah, I'm gonna lower that. Hopefully for you guys you can hear yourself think unlike me because they decided to make this as loud as humanly possible. There. But when it comes to my thoughts of this, it is going to be a bit shorter because, as you guys know, there are only like 11 episodes of this. There also means there was only 11 missions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, there's only 11 um, episodes and 11 missions in the campaign. Which, that in itself, is probably like one of my big issues. Like, it only had 11 episodes, or 11, well, yeah, 11 episodes, but 11 actual, whatever the heck it's called, missions. I understand it's not a campaign oriented game and that it is a lot more focused on like multiplayer and everything. It's always been that. I always understood that. But I think in the past there has been more missions than that. Like I don't think there's been an insane amount more. It usually does have like a smaller amount, but I think before it at least got to like 20 or something. So I do think that they should have maybe extended a bit more of what actually happened. Um, it is true that since they were trying to go historical and everything, I don't fully know everything that they could have done. But at the same time, I wouldn't have mind a video where you're just like in like trenches the entire area, just fighting off people and not really gaining any ground, but just trying not to lose any ground type deal, which was like actual war effort things. Just like trying to hold a position, maybe play like sort of like a tower defense type of thing where you can build, like in war, where you can build not bridges, but where you'll be able to like repair miniguns and things like that, and just be able to build places on each of the buildings for you and your allies to use. And things like that, I think would have been pretty cool if they had like one or two of those just kind of flopped in there. Maybe I like the tank gameplay that they gave us and like the aerial too, but they only did like one of each. And I can understand why, but at the same time, like I feel as if you maybe could have thrown that in there a little bit more in other areas. Um Maybe gave an entire mission just dedicated to being a tank and like an entire mission dedicated to being a plane. Now, I do understand that that might be a bit much, so that I could have dealt with, like without, but I think that it would have been a better idea to have more than just one of each of those. Same with the spy mission. Now, I really like whatever the heck they did with the spy mission, whatever the heck they did, with like you actually needing to know your own story, so that if you walk up to people and they and you say something wrong, they will like know. So I did like that, and I think that that was a really good addition to like how the usual spy mission goes. Like they did have like little bits before that where you just need to sneak around and stab people, like which is the way Call of Duty always did it before. Which there's nothing wrong with it, but I like that they like mixed it up a bit with this one. Um, I like what they were doing with like the people. Like every mission, how Zussman would give you med kits, and how the one Commander Pearson would tell you like areas or show you the enemies. I don't know why I'm saying tell you areas. Then Turner would give you ammo. The one guy with the glasses that I can't think of the name of would give you grenades, and then the last guy would give you like aerial drops. Styles, I think his name was. But I did really enjoy the story, though. I did like the fact that it was historical and so on and so forth, and I like the fact that each of your allies actually like came in hand with the game itself, and like could throw you those things and all. But I wish that they expanded a bit more with that, like how I was saying at the very beginning when I first saw that mechanic. I was saying, oh, maybe in the future missions you'll be able to like choose your partner for the mission, and then you'll you'll want to know what things you bring with you and what things you don't. Like obviously Zussman would be a guy that you want to bring like every time because he brings med kits, but nonetheless. But like I think that would have been a good mechanic where you can like pick a mission and then pick who's going to be with you. And of course, like if a guy is doing something or is unavailable, then he'll just be grayed out and you'll have these options instead. And I wish that they'd like open that up a bit more, and that would have been pretty nice to like have. Um and same like you could also bring them along with what the missions I was saying earlier were like a mission where you're just like holding a point. Like as the entire mission. Um and in there you could be like, am I from this? I'm trying to snipe a lot, so I really shouldn't be shot. So maybe I shouldn't bring Zussman and get the med kit that I usually do because usually I'm in the middle of the fight. This time I'll just get the ammo guy and I'll get the guy with the artillery fire, which will be like Styles, and the guy with the glasses. And just do it that way. That way you can throw the artillery fire on like large groups, and you can snipe a lot of different people, and then you'll bring the other guy for when you run out of ammo. And like depending on the mission would depend on what guy you want to bring, and it would just tell you. You'd have like a little description, like I'd hit X to select this mission, and it would give me like a little description somewhere on the screen. Yeah, it would give like a little description on the screen being like, this is this type of mission. And basically that's it. Where we're like, you need to hold this point for such and such long, and in this mission you're gonna need to be stealthy and infiltrate their base. In this mission you're gonna have to cover fire these people and things like that. Or this mission you're going to have to attack a base and then defend it right afterward. Which that was one of the missions. That was the one right after the stealth. That was the stealth mission too at the same time. Because like right after she stealths in, she blows the gates, then you rush in, and then you have to defend it afterward with like a sniper. In a mission like that, then you'd probably want to be like Zussman for the first half, and then the guy that give you ammo for the second half, so that you can both defend the gates, not run out of ammo, and not run out of health. And then maybe they could have experimented with that like a little bit more if they. This would be like less historical than if they did this one, though. If when it came to like tanks and for pilots, you could have a friend that was in the pilots and have a friend that was in the tanks, and then you could actually like bring them along. And then in certain parts of the mission, like he would just kind of like show up to help defend you. Now he wouldn't be throughout the entire mission because he's in a tank or he's in a plane, but in certain parts of the mission, the guy would like just do dive bombs and things like that, just to get some enemies, and the guy in the tank would just be in the tank. And then of course, like either one could either be like shot out of the sky, or the tank could blow up, and it would cause. And like beforehand, they'd have a little animation where they all like run out the tank, and then he'd just be out there with a pistol helping you out, type deal. But that's like that's a bit too much. I don't really think that they should do that one, though. It would just be kind of like fun to see, or maybe like after you beat the campaign you can do that or something like that. But then I wouldn't, like, for me personally, I don't really like rebeating the campaigns unless I really, really enjoyed them. Like, the campaign the first ever Call of Duty I ever played, which I loved the campaign of it too, was Modern Warfare 3. And I beat it on every single difficulty. Yeah. But in this game, I just stuck with normal, and I'm probably going to stick with normal and not really rebeat it. Unless I just kind of feel like it, or I just want to do it for like a stream or something, and I'll just rebeat the entire thing in a stream, and then just do a real quick like hard mode type rebeating. Yeah, I'm getting off topic. But so yeah, I would have really liked for them to like add a few more missions. Maybe like I would have liked them to at least get to like 15 at a bare minimum and not 11. Even 15 I think is kind of small, but you know, like usually they only get to like I believed between 15 and 20 missions. So I would have liked for them to have like 20 missions, but that yeah. So 15 I would have accepted. 11 I think is just too little. Um I would have liked to have some missions where you're just like holding off a point a bit more. I did not like the missions where there's like a tank driving around and enemies are coming from all directions and things like that. It was just like, eh. There was a mission that like Turner died. But yeah, I thought it was a bit stupid. Um but at the same time I can understand and it's okay if from it happening. Um hmm. What else? Oh yeah, with like being able to choose what guy comes your way, being able to hold the point, being able to like I wish that they gave like they were more like single focused missions, but at the same time was still stuck with like exploring the area at the same time. But not all of the missions, just I wish that like they just added some in there. What else? I think that is like really it. I wish that you were involved a bit. Like, I don't really like where it ends, where you're just like, oh, it's the end of the war, and you're just a random soldier that, and you just get Zutzman. I'm glad that, like, Zutzman lived, so I'm not saying anything against, like, that, but, I don't really like fully what happened, I guess, at the end. I wish that, like, towards the end of it, it was just a bit more. Like, I don't like the ending point of, like, where they made the war end in this game anyway. I wish that you were, like, it ended in, like, a bit bigger of a fight and not, okay, we won this big battle, we're searching camps, we find Zussman, it's over now. I don't know. I think it was a bit of a. It was a good ending, but I wish it had more before it actually ended. Like, I'm fine with us saving Zussman, but I wish we saved Zussman and then we did another fight or something like that. I don't know. Um, Maybe exploring more of the camps, but that would be kind of brutal. Like to make people go through the camps and like kill off surviving Nazis type deal. That would be kind of brutal for people, especially just like seeing dead bodies and all, and like the conditions and everything. So I can understand why they didn't do that, but yeah. Um, but overall, I think that it was still a good campaign. Honestly, I would rate it higher than Assassin's Creed. uh, well, to be truthful, Assassin's Creed I rate it as like an Assassin's Creed game, and Assassin's Creed on its own is pretty good. This, judged as a Call of Duty game, is really good, and it sticks with what Call of Duty is good at. But as like a campaign in general, I would say it's kind of lackluster, but that's also because it's more of a multiplayer focused game, so its campaign in general would be a bit lackluster, so it's understandable. Um Also, I don't really uh I just I don't know. I wish that they just did a wee bit more along the lines of like just how this went. Like what the heck happened here? We gained a tiny little bit of land. like uh, like this right here where it shows the struggle of like the back and forth between the war and everything, but I wish that it did more and that we were just involved more. I think it's too small. That's the main factor is I just think it should have been bigger, a little bit more missions. I think that the people in the game should have been able to, like choose things. Also, I wish that I could have picked my guns beforehand. Like in other Call of Duties, you could do that. You could pick your layout. But in this, you couldn't. Which I understand why they don't want you to do that because, but make required guns for maybe like the spy mission. For like the first half of it, you're required to have the silenced pistol. And then for the second half of it, you actually get to build your own class, where you can bring the any gun that you want. And I would have liked to have been able to actually pick my own class for any of these. I don't really care if it went off like the multiplayer class system, where like there was the snipers, the shotgun, like each type of gun had its own class. I don't really want it or care if it goes off of that, to be truthful. I just wish I could have actually created my own class. So besides that's honestly like really it. It's just I wish that you could have been able to pick the people that you went with for certain missions. Like obviously towards the end, like Zussman would have became unavailable, so he would have been like grayed out, and then like you would have to pick between your other friends. And like towards like there were certain parts of the game where you had like 4 or 5 different people that could have given you things, and like that would have shortened that, making that more difficult, but also like you would have been able to choose what you wanted. Maybe like being able to pick between what possible classes your allies could have. Like let's say one of the guys can only have an assault rifle or a sniper rifle, and when you pick him for a mission and you realize that the mission it's gonna be like an in-your-face type of mission, you're gonna pick the assault rifle. And like the other guy has the option between a submachine gun and a shotgun, and you realize that it's gonna be like it's a defense mission, so you're gonna pick the shotgun and make him like stand back. And then I was saying before, I think that they should have added like more defense missions where you're just like guarding a point, where you're capable of building things. I wish that they took like the war aspect of things into hand a little bit, like the game mode in multiplayer called War. I wish that they put like that game mode into 1 or 2 missions, where you have a set like objectives that you need to get done with your group. And just really that's it. Just like you need to capture this and do that and build this back up and things like that. And I also wish that they brought a little bit more into the aspect of like being able to repair things, like in also War, where you're capable of like holding square to build this or holding square to build that. Like I wish you could build more things like in the campaign. Now, I understand that's like a bit time consuming and like not everyone's going to want to do that, but it would have been nice to like have it as an option. Like towards the end when Pearson calls an airstrike, I think it was either ambush or Battle of the Bulge. I think it was ambush. Like Pearson calls a airstrike on us. And because of that, like you need to jump away and like missiles start landing all around you from the airstrike. I wish at one point in there you were like in these little trenches just shooting and sniping off people, basically doing what I was saying with like battling a single point, where you're just trying to defend. Now that mission was also the mission where you can like fly an airplane, but yeah, I just wish that they had like a mission like that, but they were just defending that point, which is like how I kind of want the mission. But it can also just not be like just trenches. It could also be like an actual building or a series of buildings that they're just trying to invade to get this point, or it could be like legit trenches. Blah blah blah. I wish that like in that trench you could build a little like barricade hut thing, like the one where it like has wood all around you, above your head and in front of you, but then it has like an open area that you can shoot through, but then the enemy can also shoot back, but like the only thing they can see is your head and you can see their entire body. You could build something like that, or you could build like a miniature version of that just has like a machine gun on it where you can hold and then shoot the machine gun type deal. Or in the other mission where you're like defending a bridge, I don't remember, I think it's like it's Death Factory. That's actually like the scene of it right there. That's in front of the bridge. Were you capable of like throwing mines down and things like that? Like that would have been, let's say Death Factory was here, and then the mission after it was, or Death Factory was a different type of mission, and then the mission after it was like what this mission got accomplished. And in Death Factory, you defend this bridge. Like that could be one of the holding point missions that I was talking about, where you just need to defend that bridge the entire time. And like something that you could build there is like barbed wire. You could build like barbed wire fences that the enemy will either have to destroy or just like run through, which will cause slight damage to them. Or build like what I was saying with like traps. You can maybe build like a little thing where you can grab mines from. Things like that. You could just build, just building options would have been nice. Now they don't have to be big. They could just be like little wooden areas with guns on them, as I was saying like earlier with the trenches. But you know, it still would have been nice. I think they did do that a little bit, but not much. I think that it was a nice touch for them to add like being able to kick over tables to use them as cover. I think that was really cool. It's true that I didn't really use that, which, as I was saying like before, like not everyone's going to use the building function, but it is nice there to have. Like I did kick over tables. I did a few times just for fun, and then there was like once or twice that I used it to actually block some bullets. And I think that just like having that option will like make people aware of it, and then maybe they'll do it once or twice, so it's not fully in vain to actually just do it, or they'll just do it for fun or something along that line, just to have it done. So let's just do a quick recap. I wish that like you could build your own class. First and foremost. I wish that second, like your allies, you could pick what ally goes with you on what mission. Like a max of 2 or 3 maybe, and you'll be able to pick between like 2 different classes that ally can have. It can also like contradict with them, meaning like let's say you're going to a defense mission and you want Zussman or you're going to like an invade mission and you want Zussman for the HP, but he only has a sniper and an assault rifle. So like yeah, you want the assault rifle so you can fight in the battle. But it's still like it's not going to do as well if you pick Turner, who has like a shotgun and an assault rifle, so you can pick the shotgun, or some machine gun and a assault rifle, like things like that. So that you'll want to pick them for both guns and the help they'll give you, meaning like grenades or med kits or things like that. So you'll have like more strategy involved. I wish that they had more missions in general, and I wish that they had like defending a point missions, basically playing like a tower defense game, but without the towers, and like you are the towers, and your like your soldiers are also going to be the towers. I wish they dabbled a bit more in both planes and tanks. The plane one I was really confused with and didn't really fully get what I was even doing in the plane mission, but it was like doing it maybe once or twice more would have helped. Instead of having it one time, I do a mission real fast and then it's done. Same with like the tank. I fight 3 different tanks while being in a tank, and that's really it, and then it's just done. I liked the... Now, this isn't part of the recap, but I did like the times where you're driving. Now, you're only really driving like 3 times, but I did think it was a cool aspect to add in there to... I just think it was a cool aspect. Now, I would have liked it a bit more if, like, as I was saying before, if you could do, like, the buddy system, and your buddy could have, like, jumped on the back with, like, a gun, and he could have, like, shot at the thing that you're trying to catch up to, or something like that, or shoot the allies around, or the enemies around you, I mean, so that it slows them down, because there was, like, a bar that if you didn't go fast enough, you could fail. Now, it was very hard to fail, but still. So, like, that's my thoughts on Call of Duty World War II campaign. My thoughts on the Call of Duty World War II campaign. I don't know why it took me so long to get that out. My train of thought just left. But yeah, so that is my thoughts. Thank you all very much for watching, and I will bid you all adieu. Goodbye.